I grew up in a place called Clondalkin in Dublin in Ireland. Growing up was pretty tough at times. Mum and Dad always made sure that they did the best that they could do for us, but there was a lot of times where they struggled to put food on the table, but they made sure that they always put us before them. Growing up in school, I'd like to say it was a fantastic experience, but to be honest, there was a lot of tough times. So I got bullied quite a lot, mainly because I was small and I used to hang out with the lads all the time, so I was a little bit different to everybody else. It was really tough. It was pretty raw most days, and the thing that I found the hardest was I couldn't talk to anybody, maybe because I didn't want to show any weakness. At the age of 12, that's when I discovered a sport called hurling. It's an Irish sport, otherwise for females it's called camogie. I got to play camogie at a high level, got to play for Dublin. But one of the biggest things that I came up against was the fact that I was too small. So at the age of 18, it was decision time. It was deciding what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I decided to go on and do a sports and leisure management course. I then went on to work in a gym, which, to be honest, I absolutely loved it. It was great. I decided something that I wanted to do for a long period of time, and that was to become my own boss and open my own gym. So the gym was massively successful, but one of the things that started to happen was the breakdown of the relationship with my best friend and business partner at the time. So he went and he started up his own gym. On top of that, in and around the same time, then one of my close friends, tragic accident happened. Himself and his brother tragically died. One thing that I didn't realise either was how much these happenings had brought me into a very deep depression. My sister was taken into hospital, quite ill actually, and yeah, it's something that I never thought I would have to experience. I experienced, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. My sister actually she passed away in front of me, but luckily enough, you know, doctors came in and they revived her and they got her back. But it was a very, very tough time seeing that. And that had a massive, massive impact on my mental state. To be honest, there's probably a year of my life that I don't even remember. It was tough. It was tough in my own head. Every day was an effort. You know, simple little things like getting out of the bed, having a shower. You know, I just couldn't function. It was a struggle, a big struggle. And it was after a long period of time that somebody told me that, you know, Adele, I think you need to go get some help. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't want to accept the fact that I was depressed and I did need help. And it took a long time, not going to lie, it took a long time to accept that. But once I accepted it, that's when I started to move forward in healing. So eventually my sister got out of hospital, which was incredible. Around this time, Dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I'll never forget it, he walked into the gym and he said to me, Adele, I have something to tell you. Straight in that moment, I didn't even think about it. I just said to him, Dad, you have two choices. Number one, you choose to give up now and you die. Or number two, you continue and you fight it, and whatever we need to do, we'll do it together. So thankfully Dad had the operation, and he's been in remission ever since, and he continues to exercise daily. What happened next, I definitely wasn't prepared for it. My sister unfortunately was brought back into hospital, back in intensive care, and that's when I realised, you know what, Adele, I just can't do this anymore. And that was when I decided I didn't want to be here. So I took a lot of sleeping tablets, and I decided to stupidly get into a car, and I drove. Didn't know where I was going. I just knew that I didn't want to come home. I had no intentions of stopping that car. But luckily enough, about 5 minutes down the road, I decided to pull in, and I start crying, and I just said to myself, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You know, I didn't want to die, and it was in that second that I decided if I was going to get out of this car alive, I needed to make that decision that for things to change, I had to change. And for things to get better, I had to get better. So that's when I actually turned to start doing some personal development. And it was in that personal development that I've continued to do every single day since, that I realised that, you know what, I didn't know what my purpose in life was. I've since realised that what my purpose in life is to inspire people. First of all, to realise that no matter how many times, I'm living proof, no matter how many times you get knocked down, just make sure you get back up and just keep going, because trust me, it's worth it. It's so worth it. It was in that time that I decided that I really, really wanted to be a muscle model. At the time, I had qualified for a Dream Team Herbalife vacation to Calidore. And it was on that trip that my whole life changed in a different direction. I actually met a girl called Danny. I was telling Danny that although I was happier, I wasn't really happy. I still felt a little bit caged at what I was doing back home in Ireland. And she just said to me, just on a whim, why don't you not move over to the UK? In that time, I just got on the computer and literally I booked a one-way ticket to London. The day of the competition, it was so overwhelming, and I remember standing there thinking to myself, what if it was me? What if I won? You know, and I remember standing there and they were calling out each category, and then next of all they called out this other girl's name, and she went up, she got her trophy, and it was in that second that I thought, oh my god, I've just won this. I've just won this. And I remember my name being called out, and you could hear like all my supporters in the crowd just screaming, absolutely screaming. And I remember walking out and you just couldn't get the smile off my face. It was literally from ear to ear. It was incredible. So I decided that I needed a new goal, because when I had a goal in front of me, it put me in a better mental health of state. So I decided to do a 7 at 7, which was literally a 7-minute workout every single morning at 7 a.m. for 365 days. And I did it, and I recently just completed it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually feeling really emotional at the moment. When I completed it, I was actually a blubbering mess. Live on video, it was extremely emotional, and it was in that moment in time that I was speaking to my audience that I realised that the 7-minute workouts were more than just a 7-minute workout. So now in my local community, I run a lot of fitness classes. One of my favourite, if I'm going to be honest, is definitely my buggy boot camp. And on average, we have in between 100 to 120 lives being impacted every single Friday. And this is all done for free. So currently what I'm doing is I'm working with a couple of the local schools in the area. I've gone in and I've done some motivational talks. I've shared my journey, my story with big groups of students. And I'm also doing a style of training, it's called zoo training. And the thing I love about zoo training is it really helps to build that resilience within us to be part of what I believe is the biggest part to any puzzle, is that community. So whether it be locally or whether it be online, I definitely believe that is, if people are part of a community, you're gonna achieve stuff. And finishing off, the one thing I will say to everybody is, you know, no matter what's going on in your life, once you accept, you're on the right path to acceptance. Yeah, I get up.